What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. And, well, today's going to be more of a rant type of video, so, it's going to be a little rambly at times, but there's just something, I need to get this off my chest because, it's bothering me today. So, it was announced the other day that a Titans player had tested positive for COVID, and if the story is to be believed, it happened before the Sunday game. Like, I heard it, they found out last Thursday that the person that tested positive, and they still continue to do their, routine stuff. I mean, the point that a lot of people bring up is, oh, well, no one tested positive between then and the game, but that's not the point. There was a player that was in contact with people, more than one, actually, including personnel as well, and they didn't do anything about it. And now, as of the time I'm recording this, no Vikings players, that was the team they played last week, tested positive, which is a good sign. But the effects of it are that more people did catch it from the Titans after that, and it's affecting what was going to be Sunday's game between the Steelers and the Titans. And so obviously I have a vested interest in this game because it's my team. But my problem with it is that the Titans are being given extra time for their own, mistakes that they made. They shouldn't have resumed team activities if they knew someone who had been in contact with the rest of the team got sick. I think they should have suspended practices and then, maybe delayed the last game. But the fact that they still went through with it, and my question is, did the NFL try to intervene whatsoever? Because it doesn't seem like they did until now. But it's affecting the Steelers. We are paying for something another team did wrong. And so, essentially, the consequences for us are the game this Sunday was originally going to be postponed until Monday to make a doubleheader on Monday night. But they changed that, and then now they just said it's canceled. It's going to happen later in the season. Now, normally, that would be fine, except for it interferes with our bye week. So, this week is our de facto bye week, which is really early in the season, which I'm not a fan of, because originally we had a week 8 bye, and that is, in my opinion, the best week to have one, because it splits your season in half, gives your team a chance to rest in the middle, and it just makes everything flow better, really. So we're trading the best bye week to one of the worst ones because it's early, and so we have to play 13 straight games now, starting with the game against the Eagles next weekend, not this weekend. So my worry for this team, and it's not necessarily about talent, it's just about, luck, really. If we lost a close game that was winnable, and we went on a losing streak because we couldn't pick up our momentum, because we have no bye to regroup and catch our breath, really, then that could ruin our entire season. And last season was evidence enough that we had all the talent in the world, but just the play calling and the quarterbacks were not good, and it was so painful to see all this talent, especially on defense, go to waste last year. And I just don't want that to happen again. Now, I do have faith. I have faith in Ben Roethlisberger and our defense and all our weapons on offense to play to the best of our abilities like we have so far, because we're 3-0. For the rest of the season, my problem is, again, we don't have a chance to catch our breath because we have a pretty easy season all told, but the problem is we play some pretty tough teams in between, like the Ravens and the Bills and the Titans, and then potentially the Cowboys and a couple other teams like the Colts. But it's just, I don't know how I feel about it right now. I'm worried about this because it feels like the NFL, because they rescheduled the game and then canceled it, and then now they don't know what they're doing. It feels like they didn't have a plan if this were to happen, which is just seems really unprepared for a league that, had to take all these things into consideration for the season to begin on time in the first place. So it just feels like they don't know what they're doing, which is not fun. Now, the other possible situation is that we still get a week 8 bye, so we'd get 2 bye weeks, and then there's an extra week before playoffs, like it would be a week 18, to make up missing games, which could work out fine, and that means that week would be a bye week for all the other teams that made playoffs. But the problem with that is, say the Titans' case gets worse, and their games for week 5 if that game gets canceled, then they'd have to make up 2 games, and then that's just going to ruin the whole season. And so this is the problem with having a sports season during this pandemic. It's fine with baseball because they can play doubleheaders. I don't think they had to do this with the NBA because of the bubble, but it's just really disappointing to see that the league really didn't know what they were doing in this case, and I'm just hoping things work out. And so what happened was, someone on Twitter, I believe, I don't know who originally posted this idea, someone brought up the fact that the Titans have a week 7 bye, and then we have a week 8 bye, and so we would play the Ravens that week in week 7, and the Titans would have had a bye, and us and the Ravens share a week 8 bye. And so basically the solution to this would be, we would play the Titans week 7, and our game against the Ravens would get shifted to week 8, where our original bye would have been. So this week would be our bye week. 7 we'd play the Titans, and 8 we'd play the Ravens. Versus before, where we would play the Titans this week, the Ravens week 7, and then had a bye week 8. Which is a fine solution. It's just still, I'm bringing it up, the early bye is a lot worse than having a middle of the season bye, and it's just, it would have been so much better. Say we had lost to the Ravens, which I think is definitely possible. That's one of the most easy games to call a loss for this team this year. It would be nice to have a bye week after that to regroup, but that would be the only instance throughout the season where we have 2 teams that could definitely beat us. Maybe, who knows how they'll play by that point in the season, back to back in the Titans and the Ravens. Because remember, this is going to be at Tennessee. Now, I don't know. I'm honestly not sure if they've been allowing fans or not, or if they will by the time the game happens, if they don't already. But it's an away game, so we'd have to travel anyway. But it's interesting, But at least we get a long week because, we get to play the Eagles, which should definitely be an easy win. The Eagles have not been playing well this year. I think it's pretty safe to say the Steelers are going to win that one, but I'm just really disappointed in the league and how they've handled this so far, and I'm just only hoping that this team will, stay in the playoff race that I think we're in right now. And so we haven't lost a game. We've beaten 2 okay teams and 1 good team, the Texans, and then the Broncos and Giants before that. I don't know. I have faith in this team, don't get me wrong, but it's just really disappointing that we're not going to be able to split our season in half. And there was a quote from Mike Tomlin earlier today that he just said, "We don't care," in response to having to play 13 straight games. And, I can definitely see where he's coming from. There's no excuses. We got to handle what we were given, because we could have originally just had an early bye anyway. But it's just, it's going to be weird for the team to adjust to. And they plan to practice all week anyway. They're not going to treat this like a bye week. So, on paper, we don't have a bye week right now. And so it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. I hope they end up playing the game and that the whole season works out, because if this were to happen with another game, it could ruin everything, because I doubt an easy fix like the one where we swap with the Ravens and Titans is going to be that easy for other teams to figure out. It just so happens that plan would work for us and the 3 teams involved in those games. But, yeah, anyway. So, I'm going to stop right there. I hope you guys enjoyed this rant, I guess, and, explanation of how I feel and what the possible, conclusion to this situation can be. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. The week 4 predictions will be going up probably tomorrow on the channel, so stay tuned for that. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video.